There's a place on Earth deeper than Mount Everest is tall. If you dropped Everest into it, the peak would still be more than a mile underwater. More people have flown to space than have ever touched its floor. And the deeper you go, the stranger it gets. So let's go down, all 36,000 feet. The first 650 feet is the ocean, you know. Coral reefs, dolphins, every nature documentary you've ever seen. It all happens here, in the Sunlight Zone. This is where almost every ocean creature you can name actually lives. A scuba diver with standard gear taps out around 130 feet. The absolute record, with special gas mixes and years of training, is just over 1,000. Here's the number that should bother you. This sunlit layer, the part we've explored, filmed and mapped, is about 2% of the ocean's depth. The other 98% is where we're going. Below 650 feet, sunlight starts to die. Colors disappear one by one, red first, then orange, then yellow, until everything is a deep fading blue. This is the Twilight Zone, and it's already stranger than anything above it. Since there's almost no light, animals here make their own. Roughly 3/4 of deep-sea species are bioluminescent, glowing lures, flashing signals, entire light shows in the dark. Sperm whales dive through this zone, holding their breath for over an hour, hunting giant squid in total darkness, battles we've never once seen, only found evidence of in scars on the whale's skin. And, by the bottom of this zone, you're carrying 100 times the pressure you feel at the surface. Everything below this line has never seen the sun. Not once. This is the Midnight Zone. It is pitch black, a few degrees above freezing, and enormous. Most of the livable space on planet Earth, by volume, is this. Cold, black, empty water. This is where the nightmares live. The anglerfish with its glowing lure, the gulper eel, the vampire squid. But the strangest thing here isn't a predator. It's what happens when a whale dies. When a whale's body sinks to this depth, it becomes what scientists call a whale fall, and it feeds an entire pop-up ecosystem. Sharks, then crabs, then worms that eat bone. A single carcass can support life down here for decades. At 12,500 feet, we pass an old friend. The Titanic sits at this depth. The pressure here is roughly the weight of an SUV pressing down on every square inch of the hull, and we're not even halfway. Below 13,000 feet, you reach the Abyssal Plains, flat, silent deserts of mud that cover more of Earth's surface than every continent combined. It should be lifeless. It isn't. There are fish that stand on stilts, made of their own fins, waiting years for food. Octopuses that flap ear-like fins to hover. And single-celled organisms the size of your hand. One cell, big enough to hold. Here's what surprised me most researching this video. We are still finding new species on basically every single dive. Just last month, NOAA ran robotic dives off Hawaii and filmed deep-sea creatures the scientists on the live stream couldn't identify in real time. We have better maps of the moon than of this place. Floor cracks open. The Hadal Zone, named after Hades, god of the underworld, exists only inside deep-sea trenches, and the deepest of them all is the Mariana. The pressure down here reaches 8 tons per square inch. That's 10 times deeper than any military submarine could survive. There are fish. The Mariana snailfish lives at around 20,000 feet, numerous gliders, scales, translucent skin, complete home in conditions that would crush a tank. But at that depth, fish hit a hard biological wall. Below roughly 27,000 feet, the pressure is so extreme that the proteins in a fish's cells literally stop working. It's not that we haven't found fish deeper, it's that fish deeper are chemically impossible. Below that line, shrimp-like amphipods, sea, cucumbers, and microbes. Life doesn't stop. It just stops looking like anything you know. And then the bottom, Challenger Deep, 35,876 feet, the deepest known point on planet Earth. Humans have made it here. In 1960, Jacques Piccard and Don Walsh rode a steel bathyscaphe called the Trieste into the dark for 5 hours, and one of their window panes cracked on the way down. They stayed 20 minutes. In 2012, James Cameron, yes, the film director, went back alone, and in 2019, explorer Victor Vescovo reached the bottom in a private zone. Vescovo found at the deepest point on Earth a place hard-obit, a plastic bag, and candy wrappers. Scientists have since found amphipods down here with plastic already in their bodies. One newly discovered species was literally named Eurythenes plasticus, after the plastic inside it. The deepest place on our planet. We visited it fewer times than we've walked on the moon, and our trash still beat us there. So that's the bottom of the Mariana Trench. But here's the thing, it's not even the strangest place down there. Because scattered across the ocean floor there are lakes, actual underwater lakes, with shorelines and waves, and water so toxic that touching it kills almost everything that swims in. That's the next video. Subscribe so you're here when we dive in.